Hello, this is Aire. Pleasure to meet you. So this is going to be a new format for my tarot readings. One, cutting out all the big academic stuff. And then two, some of you might actually want to see me talking about the cards. So let's get started here. All right, so as I go throughout the screen here, you'll see me pointing to some things here. You should see my little arrow here. Yeah. So Aries, this is for you, Aries. This is your 2019 yearly predictions. I have my notes here. I'm going to be looking at them from time to time. So there are 21 cards, 7 cards per row. The first row are going to be the first 4 months of the year, January through April. This row, the middle of the year, May through August. And then the last row, end of the year, September through December. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Once again, this reading focuses on your love and relationships for 2019, no career or anything like that. I think a lot of you've been watching nothing but love and relationships all year, so I might as well just stay true to form here, okay? So, first thing that I've noticed here, you've got quite a bit of wands here. Wands throughout. And the easiest way I'm interpreting that is that this is really about your personal power here. You, first off, wands represent fire, and obviously you're a fire sign. In fact, Aries, you're associated with Mars, the god of war. So all this fire and passion coming from you, changing things, going after love, embracing love. But you're going to be put through it. Because your major arcana cards are really, really intense. Okay, so not only do you have a lot of wands, your major arcana cards are blowing my mind here. So in addition to you embracing your natural element of fire, you've got these major arcana cards, especially at the first of the year, where big shakeups as well. But it looks like you're going to be fine, and I'm going to tell you why. So, wands, 4 of wands, the card of celebration, Knight of wands. And that Knight of wands is very important because, of course, knights are all about change. Knights take action. They take direction from the King of Swords. The King of Wands. They get their instructions from the King. And so when I'm looking at my notes here, one of the things that I wrote down with the wands, making things happen. Making things happen. And so the first 4 months of the year, it's like I said, your major arcana are blowing my mind, especially in the beginning of the year, because you're starting the year off with death. And just to dispel those, oh my God, death, obviously it's not physical death, unless you're getting a fortune telling reading, and those can be very serious. And by the way, I'll be using fortune telling cards in 2019. Stay tuned for that. But death can mean, death can simply mean out with the old, in with the new. And that is certainly in keeping with the beginning of the year. So you have nothing to be afraid of here, because this could just simply be a matter of cleaning house. Okay, that's the first major arcana. So you're starting off pretty strong here. I will get to these little minor cards, but let's go to the end of this row here, where you actually have the Hermit plus the shadow side. And the best way I can interpret that is a little bit of heartache. Um, obviously you've got that Knight of Swords coming to bring change after the Four of Wands. So I get the sense that love is coming on strong. But, I'll get to this Queen of Pentacles reversed in a second. But then you've got the Hermit followed by the shadow side. And whenever I see the shadow side, I definitely get this sense of fighting demons. You're alone, and then the shadow side follows. And sometimes the shadow side is not only about old demons, but old dysfunctional patterns. The interesting thing is that I don't necessarily see it as, it's not necessarily that you're fighting your demons. I get the sense that this Queen of Pentacles reversed is fighting demons. And I can go into that when I backtrack after I finish your major arcana. So I just want to tell you how I'm seeing that first 4 months with those major arcana. Those are such intense cards. Death cleans house. Out with the old, in with the new. Resurrection after death. Then the Hermit, contemplating, thinking things through, seeking knowledge, wisdom, and guidance, looking for some type of enlightenment. And then that shadow side. And the shadow side is actually very liberating. If it was reversed, I'd be worried. But the shadow side is about releasing your fears. And as I said, not only is it about battling those demons, but throwing off any negative energy that's keeping you in bondage. This, in extreme cases, the shadow side can be about addiction. It can be about abuse. But usually the idea of bondage, you're in bondage to a dysfunctional or toxic situation that this other person is creating. And so that first row, the first 4 months, I immediately looked at that Queen of Pentacles reversed. Selfishness, irresponsibility, greediness, big ego, and it's attached, and then the shadow side follows. So some of you might be connected to a partner, not necessarily with pentacles or earth energy. Pentacles represent earth, but someone who is pretty selfish, self-centered. Someone who is quite literally dealing with an addiction. That could definitely be the case. But as I said, hundreds of you Aries with different types of astrological charts, I always suggest to people, please get a birth chart, an astrological chart, and see how you're more than just your sun sign or your ascending sign or your moon sign. Please do that. And it might give you a lot of insight about what's in your house of love, your house of friendship, your house of finances. It could explain a lot. Anyway, yeah, intense first of the year. Someone, all I can say is that someone tried it with you. And by the way, your theme, the first thing that I thought of as far as a theme once I looked at your cards is Kiss of Death. And that's simply because I see you going through this struggle with this person and seeing this person for who they really are. And, proceeding with caution, proceeding with that information. Okay. Your major arcana cards, there are none in the middle of the year. You do have this Two of Cups here, and then in the last part of the year, you have 2 major arcana. You have the Moon, and the Moon is always a warning here. And it's interesting, the Moon is sort of echoing the Hermit. Note how they both have a torch or some sort of light, that fire, right? They're both using that heat and that light to get perspective, to get clarity. The Hermit is about introspection and learning lessons. The Moon is sort of like a big heads up, danger ahead, prepare. So I'm not surprised that that Nine of Wands is following here, right? But you have the moon, and then the only other major arcana card in that last part of the year is the Lover's card. So I'll get to the Lover's card. It's not necessarily about romance. I've always associated the Lover's energy with Eros. Eros can be a very erotic sexual love. Also, the Lover's card is not necessarily about this. It can be a very strong emotional connection and even a spiritual connection. But many times with Lover's cards, unless there is groundedness with the Lover's card, there tends to be a lot of issues. So when I'm looking at my notes, I do notice that there's a Two of Cups there as well. And when I see that Two of Cups with the Lovers, that dual energy, this is more of an emotional commitment. And Two of Cups is definitely something where it can symbolize marriage or an engagement. Someone saying, I love you. Okay? And as I said, this middle row, I'm going to get back to it because you've got all of these wands here. 10 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 3 of Wands. In the middle of the year, you are going to be, as I said, really making things happen here. But this other person in your life, it's almost as if this other person, emotionally, they're not ready. They're too self-centered. They're too immature. But as I said, Lovers is more of a sexual love. And so many people see Lovers like, oh, we're going to get married. Not necessarily. The Two of Cups addresses that more directly because cups represent water. And this is about the cups are more strongly connected with love. But that eros, that sexual passion, and someone could be so bad for you. We've all been there. But there's this strong sexual tension, and it almost feels like a spiritual experience, like they're your soulmate, that type of thing. And so when I do see Two of Cups showing up with Lovers, yeah, there is a potential for a soulmate relationship. But also, I'm looking at the context of these cards as well. So yeah, those are your major arcana cards. And pay attention to the Hermit and the Moon, because both of those cards have someone with a light. They need to see. They need to pay attention to their gut. They need to listen to that little voice in their head that says, hold on a minute, don't move so fast. Fire is a very, very quick energy. So, like I said, whoa. Okay, so this first part of the year could be a little bit traumatic for you because it feels like you're pulling this person in. You've got that Three of Cups, the card of affection, and it's interesting how in the middle of the year you get more intense to that Two of Cups, right? Four of Wands, celebration of love. So I get the sense that maybe some of you are finally leaving behind old baggage, old relationships, and you're heading into a new relationship. But one of the subtexts that could be happening for some of you Aries people is sometimes the universe pulls us into the exact same relationship we were in before because there's an important lesson to learn, and we have to keep learning it again until we get it. So when this selfish, self-centered person comes into the picture here, surrounded by your energy, Four of Wands here, Knight of Wands here. Knight of Wands is associated with Sagittarius, by the way. With this tarot deck that I'm using here, the Witch's Tarot, Knight of Wands is associated with Sagittarius, but it's still fire. And as I said, knights go to war. They go to change things, to shift things. And they usually act on a decision, usually by the king. The king says, go to war, you go to war. So Your energy is surrounding this person, but they're not quite up to it. They're not ready for a committed relationship. And maybe they do feel overwhelmed by your passion. Maybe they are sexually attracted to you, and then they think, I just want sex, you know, or, you hooked up with this person in the beginning of the year, hot and heavy Valentine's Day. And then once again, this person realizes I might be in over my head with this person because they want something serious. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not saying that's applying to all you Aries people, but I definitely think it's interesting how this fire energy follows death. And note how death also has a torch. So maybe the real theme of your reading is carrying a torch, because you have 3 cards: carrying a torch, carrying a torch, carrying a torch. It's really crazy. Um, you know, Not only looking for enlightenment, but trying to start something, trying to know what direction to go into. So um, when we head into that hermit and shadow side, I feel like some of you might have this sense of deja vu, like, oh my God, not again, not again. That's when the hermit comes in, like, yes, again. So this is the time, especially with the shadow side, that you sort of get a little introspective and start thinking about, okay, what is it that I need to learn here? But let's go to the middle of the year. All of these wands here. And the first thing I thought of, especially with that 2 of Cups, is with whatever's going on with this person, I feel like some of you Aries people in the summer, you're going to get it on. Strong sexual connection, but I also feel like some of you will be falling in love. Some of you will be heading into a long-term relationship. Once again, the 2 of Cups is surrounded by all of this Wands energy. So 10 of Wands. 10 is a good number because it means that you're coming to the end of the cycle and starting over. And this is important because you had a rough beginning of the year here, especially with the shadow side. The 10 of Wands is the end of your struggle. You might have felt overwhelmed. But then the energy of that 2 of Cups comes in. Some of you could be a makeup breakup situation. 7 of Wands is a good card as well because it's about fighting for what you want. Not only fighting for yourself, but fighting to win a battle, defending yourself. And so this leads to the 8 of Wands. And just take note, this is right in the middle of your spread. It's in the middle row and it's in the middle column. And this could actually mean travel of some sort. It can also mean, sometimes the 8 of Wands is also called the Wands of Love. It can mean something that happens very quickly. And then that leads to a 3 of Wands, which is the card of hopeful expectations, expecting something good to come your way. And so that's why I got this sense of some of you, this is going to be a real exciting summer for you, 2019. Some of you will have a fling, some of you might fall in love, but whatever the case may be, very, very strong romantic energy. And then it's followed by a King of Cups, and then things really slow down. So remember this, Aries, fire is very, very quick. It's the strongest, it's the speediest, fastest element in the tarot. And then it's followed by a King of Swords, which represents air. King of Swords, yeah, it could be a Libra person or someone with an air sign, Aquarius or Gemini. But a King of Swords, once again, kings take direction. So when I see that King of Swords, big decision. And then we come to a 3 of Pentacles, and Pentacles are kind of slow. Things slow down. So yes, big, hot and heavy summer, falling in love. This person can't resist you. And then slow down. Okay, and I do realize that some of you are coming into the year with the partner you had last year. So it doesn't necessarily have to be anyone new, but I do, once again, this sense of hot and heavy and everything happening quickly. And then at the end of summer, things slow down, you know. So as we head into the end of the year, danger. The moon is always a heads up from your subconscious. Your gut telling you, well, not your gut is different from your subconscious, but basically your intuition telling you, be very careful, danger up ahead. And so the Nine of Wands comes in, and the Nine of Wands is always that defensive card. If you go back to the beginning when I pulled it out, yes, prepare yourself for battle. This is might be a struggle. But you also have this Page of Wands, and the pages deliver messages. Pages can also represent young people. I feel like this is more of getting to the truth. Getting to the truth of what? Okay, this lover's energy, hot, heavy, sexual energy, eros. But then the Seven of Wands, which is the card of secrets. Sometimes it can mean deceit and lying. Sometimes the Seven of Swords, I'm sorry, not Seven of Wands, but these sevens are important because sevens are a number of revision and reflection and coming up with strategies. So when I see that Seven of Swords, it could be that someone is keeping secrets from you. Someone is not being straightforward with you. So when this Page of Wands comes with this sword, he's ready, like, I'm slashing all of this BS. I'm getting to the heart of the issue here surrounding the Lover's card. But then it comes out, you know, whatever secret comes out, here's what the fallout will be. You have an Eight of Cups, someone emotionally checking out, like, I'm gone, I'm out of here. I need some space, I need to take some time. And then you have that Ten of Swords, which is the card of betrayal and things very bad. You know, the original meaning, it was related to Caesar, actually. Caesar was stabbed in the back. You know, he was murdered because of some treachery that people were planning and he didn't see it. Now, I'm not saying this to just make you feel bad. Remember, the tarot readings are not about determining whether you be happy or not. You can be happy right now. So please don't approach these readings with the idea of, okay, tell me if I'm going to be happy or not. That's not what tarot is about. The tarot is about all the ups and downs in life. You're always going to have ups and downs. But the purpose of the tarot is to give you the bigger picture of what's happening, the bigger story behind why all these things are happening to you. And so, yes, Eight of Cups, someone leaving or emotionally pulling away for a good reason. And then a Ten of Swords, like just devastation. Now, I don't think this is a bad thing, because sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. So please don't interpret this as someone just stomping all over your heart, but it may mean that by the time you get to the end of the year, this hot and heaviness, this spike in passion and the cool down, and this person not knowing what they want, making it all about them, it could be that's the way things play out near the end of the year. And you could actually be happy that that's the way it's going to play out. Okay? So if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have such a terrible year. No, don't see it that way. See it as information that you need to know to navigate the relationship with this person or whoever you're attached to. Okay. And there are some people who feel that this is information that they would love to have. Will this person cheat on me? Is this person going to have issues? And in a general sense, that's all I'm saying. I don't think necessarily the issue of cheating is going to apply to everybody, but that Seven of Swords is about secrets, information coming out. Um, it could be you deciding, you know, let me just see if what this person is saying is true. But whatever the case may be, it feels like, especially with these three swords following the moon, which is once again a heads up for danger, it feels as if near the end of the year, people are coming clean, that you do get that clarity from all those torches, right? And you're able to see like, you know, I think this is for the best. So that's why the theme of your reading was Kiss of Death, because I sort of got a sense of you clocking this person, like, let me look at this person's actions. Let me see what they're all about. Lots of strong physical sexual attraction, even a little bit of love and an emotional connection. But it could be that this person, and once again, I identify the energy of this person with this Queen of Wands reverse. I kind of feel like this person is one very at a completely different pace than you with the relationship. That could be the overriding issue. That you're very quick and fast and passionate and loyal. And this person, especially with a reverse pentacle, is kind of like very slow, very stubborn. That could also be the issue that might be happening with some of you Aries people. Okay, so that was your reading. And as always, I want to thank everybody for subscribing and supporting my channel. By the way, $10 special on relationship energy readings. So this is a general reading, but if you want something more personalized where I can look directly into what's going on with your situation, go to tarotbyaire.com and check it out. You know, you might find that for $10 you can still get a shorter reading that will look into what's going on with your relationship. So I will see you next year. In fact, January readings will be coming up in another week or so this weekend. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I will see you next year. Happy holidays. I hope you're having a wonderful time with the people you love, most importantly yourself. And as always, I wish you love and light.